Thomas Stonewall Jackson was a Confederate general in the Civil War. He was born on January 21st, 1824, and had to live with his relatives early in his life because of the death of his parents. He did not have a formal education in his early years, but in 1842 he attended U.S. Military Academy at West Point and graduated 17th in his class. He was commissioned as a second lieutenant assigned to artillery. He later joined the regiment in Mexico, where he first met Robert E. Lee, who later became the commanding general of the Confederate armies. In the Mexican War was where Jackson exhibited the qualities that he would later become famous for, like resourcefulness, the ability to keep his head, and bravery in the face of enemy fire. After the fighting in Mexico, Jackson was promoted to first lieutenant and to the brevet rank of major, and then was assigned to the occupation forces in Mexico City. Later, he resigned from his duties and became professor of artillery tactics and natural philosophy at Virginia Military Institute. Upon the outbreak of the Civil War, Jackson offered his services to the state of Virginia and was ordered to bring his VMI cadets from Lexington to Richmond. Soon after, he received a commission as colonel in the state forces of Virginia. His first assignment in the Confederate cause was the command at Harper's Ferry. His mission was to fortify the area and hold it off if possible. Jackson had to withdraw to a more defensive position after General Joseph E. Johnston took over the Confederate forces in the valley. In July of 1861, the invasion of Virginia by Federal Army troops began. Jackson's brigade moved with others of Johnston's army to unite on the field of Bull Run. He stationed his brigade in a strong line and withheld the enemy against overwhelming odds and earned the name Stonewall from Brigadier General Bernard E. B. Jackson continued to impress Lee with his skill on the battlefield and in planning conferences. Lee then suggested that Jackson should attack Federal troops in Shenandoah Valley to threaten Washington. By rapid movement, Jackson defeated them, and in April he struck in the mountains of western Virginia. Then on May 24th, he turned on General Nathaniel P. Bank and drove him out of Winchester and back to the Potomac River. Lee and Jackson finally joined forces against the Federal forces under General John Pope in the Second Battle of Bull Run and defeated him. On the evening of May 2nd, Jackson rolled up the flank of unsuspecting Federal forces, and in the moment of victory, tragedy struck. Jackson was accidentally shot down by his own men when he was returning at dusk. His arm was amputated, but he died from pneumonia a week later. Lee could never replace them, and while Jackson had lost his left arm, Lee had indeed lost his right one.